we were going to participate in.
Okay.
I didn't think it would be 25 years later that we finally would see it. And I'm serious.
Yeah.
So I have experienced, and we took the Lord seriously, and I started several businesses. I've done other things, and what I have seen in the context of this conversation today.
Yeah.
When I heard Eric Beck this morning talking about how the Lord has, he was talking about this analogy of you make the coffee, but you don't have the container.
Yes.
You don't have that container.
Yep.
That was me. Because in the context of really following the Lord in the kingdom and following the kingdom, if you don't have, when I sat down on Friday and saw this, as soon as I opened this, I knew exactly what this was. And I've been looking for this for probably 25 years.
Yeah.
And in the context of mistakes, which have cost me millions,
Yeah.
there's several things that I see here. First of all, for me, getting started actually was like the first part of this flywheel. I did really well, and getting successful in both cases, I maintained and got to. But my vision was legacy. It was to complete.
Yeah.
And when you get into this back half of this flywheel, where you don't have counsel and you don't have a system, it's literally like flying a plane without instruments.
Yeah.
And you all of a sudden you'll get lost.
Yeah.
And especially, and unfortunately I have to say this, in the context, I mean, some of the biggest challenges I had were with Christians who weren't really following a kingdom type mandate.
Yeah.
And I got hurt probably the most from that perspective.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and then even perspectives of, I had a whole company with intellectual property. So there were things there that I had to discover, and most of the time, quite frankly, it happened when it was at the most strategic moment of the development of the business.
Right.
And if you don't have, some type of way to go back to the basics and say, okay, where am I? And then to be able to, in all honesty, to have counsel where you're going to talk to somebody who's who's looking at it, just like we've been talking about the past 3 days.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get, unfortunately, you're not going to get that from the church. I'm going to be real honest. You're not going to get that from your friends. Most people have no idea what you're even doing when you're talking about a kingdom business.
Yeah.
And so you really, it's very easy to find yourself by yourself and God. And I'm going to kind of wrap it up with this other thing. Nothing hurts more than to put yourself on the line for the Lord and then it fails. It hurts beyond your imagination. It's like something died because you put everything into it. And, and when it goes, you're literally left with yourself and God, and you're really in this dark place.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so when you think about lessons that you've learned that cost you money, is there one thing that you talk about being able to start and maybe having some early success, but in some cases, if I'm hearing you correct, that early success gets you so sucked into a system that's so dependent on you, you don't really have time to figure out all these other things behind it. Is that what?
No.
Is that
Well,
what you're saying?
Yeah, my wife was nodding her head. And what you do is you start searching for
Grasping.
for like a pattern or a process. And a lot of times, in my case, I went like Eric said, I went to the world system, which I was studied in. That's what I was, trained in. And so you're looking for that model.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm telling you, what he said this morning was profound, because you have to use the world model, but then you have to learn how to apply the biblical elements and create the process around that's biblical.
Yeah.
That was worth price of admission for all of us.
Yeah. I mean, Eric is a special human being, and I will tell you, those of us who have an opportunity to work with him, and you know, it's a pretty special time. Have you ever, in your new business, have you started it yet?
I'm already
Is
started.
this one you told me about?
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
actually, and this is the way the Lord's worked with me, quite frankly, because of all of what happened to me, I found myself, quite frankly, in a very dark place. I've been studying biblical identity for 6 years, and then I'm actually partnered with the largest database company in the world for mental well-being, for assessing mental well-being, and we're about ready to launch a proactive approach toward mental health that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of kind of establishing and setting that company up.
Yeah.
But because it is about, this is all about mindset, and this is all about identity. If you step, as you step in, it's really who you are, in Christ and your mindset.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to, allow us to succeed. And that's what we've been doing for 3 days. It's been, I've been in my wife and I can testify, we've been in a lot of these meetings. I will tell you personally, this is the best gathering around business and kingdom I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.